Game time! This is Beyond the Service. And what are we talking about today, Devin?
We are talking about focus on your customers, not your competition.
I think that's a very good topic, and it's a very hard to balance topic at the same time because most people want to focus on their competition, let's be honest.
You know, I think that in business, you kind of have to be a horse on the racetrack. Like, you have to have blinders. So they put blinders on these racing horses so they're not focusing on who's ahead of them, so they can focus on what's going on in their own lane. Have you guys ever heard that term, like, stay in your own lane? That's basically what you have to do in your business.
But there is a major but, because I believe that you do have to know your competition to a certain extent. There has to be some kind of understanding of who they are and what they are doing so that you can be something different than they are not. So
you have to understand your customers they're going to hire you because they want something different. They want variety. But I feel that if you really focus on your business and the great things that your business has as a difference, that's really what's going to set you apart versus your competitors.
I would consider it like a touch and go. You kind of need to know your competition and what they're doing, how they're doing it, if they're doing it legally, ethically, all those things. And those are things kind of you'll learn over time as well. But you really need to focus on yourself and what you're doing and how are you going to make the difference for your customers directly. Because
I think
nothing else matters but your customers.
No, absolutely not. So I'm a firm believer that customer satisfaction has got to be number one. You have to find the systems and you have to place processes to where your customers are being taken care of. Your employees are being taken care of. You feel like you're being taken care of as an employee. So what are the things that you recommend that we do to make sure we're focusing on our customers, not our competition?
Well, for one, it's, like I said, that's a very hard balance. But the biggest thing to do is separate the money from the service. And if you can master that, you will win the entire market. And it's a very difficult thing to do.
Yeah, I mean, let's be real. We're all people. We all want to make money.
Absolutely.
You all want to make the most profit you possibly can on every job, but you're not going to make a single dime if you're in it for the wrong reasons. You have to focus on that one-to-one interpersonal relationship that you're creating with your customer.
If you genuinely consider every customer like they are your grandparents, I think that's
a great way to put it.
I think that's the best thing that I've come up with in the field is like, this person's my family.
Yeah.
And I think that's why we've named our company what we named it, because we wanted family in the name so that our customers feel the engagement that we want with our customers. And I think that's important. I think choosing your name is a very important sales, not just sales tactic, but an environment that you can create for your customers so that they can feel welcome and loved and want you into their home.
I think the first thing you can do to focus on your customers is first make sure that your staff is taken care of. If you're not taking care of your staff, they will not take care of your customers.
100%.
You have to make sure that you have positive morale. Everybody feels supported and confident in their role. They're not going to have that if they're working for somebody that's micromanaging, stressed out, maybe has an anger problem, stuff like that. You got to make sure you check yourself before you wreck yourself. It's a real thing.
Right.
You know, if you are unstable in any way whatsoever, that's going to reflect on your staff, will then trickle over to your customers. So I think the step one of taking care of your customers is taking care of your employees and your staff.
Everyone
or your coworkers.
There's this thing that's called a love tank.
Love tank.
If your love tank is empty.
Oh, it's like Vicki Gunvalson from Real Housewives of Orange County. Okay, so how many people out there watch Bravo with Real Housewives? So Vicki Gunvalson talks about her love tank. It's a real thing. How full is my love tank right now, John Thompson?
Not very full at all. I will tell you, I do mess up quite a bit. And, it's our job to understand what the need is in any situation.
Relationship.
And in your relationship with your customers, your homeowner that you're servicing, your children at home, all these things play a big factor with each other. And it comes to us listening and understanding who these people are and what they need to fill their love tank, in my opinion. And if you can find a way to do that, you will gain a customer for life, and they will continue to call you for even the slightest things, and they will have no hesitations. And that is how you win in business.
So I got to say, John and I follow all kinds of groups on social media, small business owners, contracting companies, any type of service company. And I read all of the questions from the people. And one of the biggest questions is like, what do you do when your competitor is talking shit about you? What do you do? Do you go and be like, oh man, fuck you, I'm gonna beat your ass, whatever? No. I think what you need to do is need to keep your head held high, rise above it, keep your mouth shut, and just kill them in your performance. It's hard because competitors will only talk shit if you're a threat to them. So once you become a threat, that's when you know that you've won, but it doesn't mean that you need to start being a piece of shit like they're being to you. So remember, stay in your lane and continue to do what you know that you're doing right, because people only talk shit when you're doing good.
And on the other side of things, it's not a bad thing to support them in what they're doing great.
Absolutely not.
I think
and I love that you said that.
I think it's really important that when there is a competitor that's doing something fantastic, to reach out to them.
Right.
And be like, this is a fantastic idea, and I really respect the moves that you're making right now, because no one else is doing this in our industry, and I think it's very bold and wise. So good job. And
I just feel like are you a child? Like, you're too afraid to give positive support to somebody else. Like, you have to understand that in a service-oriented business, it's already hard enough trying to please everyone and trying to maintain just a basic relationship. Like, why make things harder and create enemies? I have to tell, for all of you men and women listening, if you respond to people with love and support, the world will spin so much better, because hurt people hurt people. You have to understand that people don't respond just because they're like, I'm going to be a dick today. They think that you're a threat. They think that you're going to take business from them. So when they see that you respond with love and support, it's going to really just make a better marriage, to where eventually you guys can throw each other jobs. Like, hey, I'm not available. I'm sick. My wife's having a baby. I'm out of town, whatever it is. You need to have strong allies, because ultimately we're all in it together.
You know what that is? That's taking care of your customer first.
Absolutely.
And thinking about everything else, that's on your back. It's on the back burner all the time. You need to think about servicing your customer. And you know what? You refer them to the right people, they're still going to come back to you. I promise you.
Absolutely. So when you establish a respectful relationship with your competitors, you're still taking care of your customer.
100%.
So that goes into our show's topic. Oh, what are you doing?
Did my mic just go crazy right now? I just hit it. I'm sorry.
This guy's reckless, so I hope that
pops,
everybody can still hear you.
I apologize.
So it goes into our topic of, if you focus on your customers. No, focus on your customers, not your competition. I'm sorry, I'm kind of getting off here. But ultimately, if you really put your energy in the ways that it needs to be, the revenue will come.
Yep.
I think that if you focus on money so much in the interaction of the service itself, you're not focusing on what the customer's needs actually are. If you focus on the needs and you focus on what the customer is actually telling you, the money comes.
And I'll tell you, that's why I don't like time and material, because I want to do a job for somebody and I want to build so much value in them.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm going to do to build that value is spend the most amount of time I can communicating with my customer and creating this amazing relationship. And that they should not pay for. They should pay for the service alone, but not your time to build that relationship and the value you're going to bring to that.
We have met really just amazing people, and the word amazing isn't even a great adjective. Just extraordinary people over the years that we've provided service to.
That see us in the grocery store and they talk to our children like they're their grandchildren. That's the stuff. That's when you know you're doing a great job with your customer service and the community outlook that they have on your company. If you get people to say hello to you in the store, you're doing your job right. And just make sure that you are creating that bond with your customer in any way, shape, and form, and you will have a client for life. And that's the moral of the story, is to create those relationships and keep them. Time's up, guys. Time's up. We're locking this out. Thank you guys for watching. If you really like this content and where we're going with everything, please stay tuned for next week, where we're going to be talking about more cool stuff about how to be a good employee, about how to run your business ethically. This thing just does not stop. I don't even know how to work this iPhone.
Well, tune in next week so we can discuss this more, and we'll see where my love tank levels are currently at based on this guy's job performance.